Well, it's a shame I didn't catch this on camera, but I just broke this Wiha hex driver. Broke the tip right off of it. So what I was trying to do, this is just a piece of surplus military hardware that was being thrown away. And I like to take all the screws and the hardware out of these because they're usually pretty good quality hardware. And then recycle the metal. So I got to the back here, and these have 5/64 socket cap screws. So I got one out, no problem. Move to the next one, turn it, and I hear a snap. And I was like, oh damn, I think I snapped the head off. Because that's kind of the feeling it gave me. But you can see in there, it snapped that piece clean off. So these are ball end hex keys, so I guess there is some kind of torque limit, but I don't even remember using this size. This is the smallest size that I have in the Imperial for this series. And as I mentioned before, they discontinued this series, so it's possible they may not have a replacement for this. Maybe they still have this particular size in stock. They have a warrant, you know, the warranty on the Wiha is supposed to be lifetime for workmanship defects. Considering this is the first time I remember using this size, and it broke on the second screw. And I don't think I put too much torque on these because these kind of screws are designed not to be torqued as much. Was it possible that somebody torqued these down too much? Or they Loctited them? Because I don't remember seeing any thread locker on the one I took out before. So this might be a good time to test out their warranty and see what they say about that. Okay, so here we are at the Wiha USA website. So I don't have any direct contacts with any of the tool manufacturers, and that's really sort of to insulate myself against any kind of influence. And once you kind of have a relationship with somebody at a company, you're less likely to say anything negative about them. You may not like the company, but you may like the person that works there, and you don't want to offend them. So I try to keep at least one level between myself and the actual manufacturers. And that's the reason why you don't see a lot of the new stuff on my channel before you see it on other channels, because a lot of those other channels get that stuff months in advance. So they can review it, and then they give them a date when they can release it. So I go out and buy everything myself that I review. So first thing we see is there's a no hassle guarantee here. So it says, if you're not happy for any reason, return them within 12 months of purchase, and we will repair or replace. So it's been longer than 12 months since I got that tool. I believe I got it about 3 years ago. So, but then it also says, if for some reason there's a defect in material or workmanship, we will replace your tool free of charge for as long as you own the tool. So I'm not sure if that failure was really due to me torquing it too much, or there was actually a problem with the material. I don't know who makes that determination, but it's really my opinion that should not have broke. Because normally you can kind of feel it twisting before it'll break, and I didn't really feel any of that when I was using it. So how do you contact them for this no hassle guarantee? I guess we'll have to go to contact us. So Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So since it's the weekend, and since I work between those hours, I guess I'm gonna have to send an email instead of calling them. Alright, so here's the email that I'm gonna send to cservice@wihatools.com. I basically gave them all the information. I said I bought it 3 years ago. I think this is the first time I've used it, and it broke on the second screw that I used it on. Is this covered under warranty? Here's the part number. Please see the attached pictures. So they probably have no idea who I am. I don't think my name is really going to ring any bells to them. And I'm not sending this from my German Tool Reviews account. So today is 7th of July. I know it's been a holiday weekend, so they may not get around to answering this for a couple days after Monday. So we'll give them till the end of the week. Alright, so I went ahead and sent that off, and I did notice on their website, it looks like even though they discontinued this line, they have this particular model still in stock. So yeah, if you go to the 3K page, you'll notice some sizes are not in this list here anymore. So like the 1/4 inch, 3/8 is not in here. I don't see. Like 9/64 I don't see in this list. So those are all ones that I guess they ran out of stock, and they're not going to restock it. So let's check on the metric side, see how many they have left. So looks like they don't have a 3 and an 8. Looks like they basically have every other size though. So, and you saw that the cost is pretty negligible here. Looks like it's under $4. So even if they say no, it's not covering warranty, I'll probably just order another one, and then we'll go from there. So let's wait, give them a couple days and see what they come back with. Well, it looks like I got my replacement within about 5 days or so. So they actually answered pretty fast. It was that Monday, the day after. I think it was in the afternoon sometime. They sent me an email and said, yes, this is covered under warranty. What's your address? Sent them my address, and they said, okay, you'll be getting something soon. Now, they did send this UPS, but they didn't send any tracking information, so I wasn't sure when I was going to get it. And then they included this little note in here. And then I guess this is an invoice. I redacted some personal info there. I just kind of had a flashback when I saw the line printer. So back about 15 years ago, I was working on a system, a control room that had been in operation for about 20 years before that, and they had a line printer in there that they wanted to maintain. So sort of the use case they had, every time an event happened, like a circuit breaker tripped or something, it would actually print a little line on this line printer, and then it would advance, in the next event, put the timestamp and what happened. So when they changed shifts, the new guy would go over to the line printer, and he would look at all the events that happened since the last shift. I think it was like the one they had broke, and I was surprised that they still made them. And actually, I believe they still make them today for that exact case. They must have a pretty old system there that they're still using. And the reason why they needed it to be a line printer is because they wanted, you could have in one shift, 100 events happen in the worst case probably. And this roll of paper comes in a big box, and one box might last you like a whole year. So you don't want to have to keep loading paper into it. You just load it in once, and it's good for a year. But back to the tool at hand here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that out of there. I tried using a magnet. I did take out one other screw with a Vera driver just to see how tight it was, and it really wasn't that tight. So I left these other 3. So I think what we'll do is we'll try the new driver. Hopefully it won't break again. So I think we'll try it on this screw. It wasn't too bad at all. It is a little bit tight, so there may be some kind of anti-seize or thread locker on there, but it doesn't look like there's no color to it if it is on there. Yeah, I guess there is a little bit of something on there, but it looks more like anti-seize than thread locker. So let's try these other 2 here. So that one right there is stripped out. We'll have to use the Hex Plus on that. Yeah, and that one there was a little bit tighter than the last one. But still, I don't think it should have broke on that little bit of force. Alright, so since we can't get enough grip on the regular ball driver, use these Hex Plus drivers. And they're very good for getting out these strip screws, because it has a slightly different profile than a hex. So like I said before, if you're taking stuff apart, these are really the best ones to use. If you're putting stuff together, you may not actually want to use these because you can over tighten them to the point where the screw will start to yield. Now let's look at this and see if we can figure out why exactly this failed. So I don't think you're going to be able to see this under this kind of magnification, but I looked at this under some higher magnification, and I compared it to the profile of the Wiha one here, and on the Wiha there's actually like a flat spot. So it comes down and then it goes flat, and then it comes back up into the ball. I don't see that kind of profile on the Wiha. So if we measure that smallest part there of the ball, it looks like on the Wiha it's 1.5 millimeters. And on the Wiha, it's pretty much exactly the same. It would be a little bit more, maybe a tenth of a millimeter. And really the way I would have expected this to fail, I would have expected the metal to actually twist before it broke. But it kind of broke like the metal was pretty brittle, so it's maybe these were hardened quite a bit. And anytime you harden something, it becomes brittle. So I don't know if you can be able to see this on this magnification. But if you look there in the part there where it's sheared off, there's a little dark spot. I don't know if it's going to be able to focus on that. So I think there might have been something wrong with the metal right there. So it almost looks like what they call an inclusion or exclusion. When you're forging or casting and something like a foreign material gets in there, it'll actually weaken the steel quite a bit. So it could have been that I just got unlucky and got one that had a little defect in it. The whole process was pretty painless. So I guess the only thing I would say is if they were to send a tracking number or something once they shipped it, give you a better idea when you're going to get your tool. So that's about going to wrap it up, just to give you my thoughts on the Wiha warranty experience. And hopefully this was isolated. It doesn't happen to anybody else. But if it does, then leave a comment if you had the same issue. Other than that, have a good week, and I'll catch you guys next time.